Hi, this is Karen Gaines, your nonprofit finance guide, and today we are going to talk about the difference between a financial statement review and a financial statement audit. Okay, so let's start off by defining what a financial statement review and what a financial statement audit is. Okay, so a financial statement review is conducted by a CPA, and they provide moderate or limited assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatements. Now, a financial statement audit is conducted by a CPA or auditor, and they provide reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatements. Okay, so a financial statement review is going to provide you some assurance that the financial statements are free from errors. They're represented okay. All right. Whereas a financial statement audit, an audit goes more in depth, and so they're going to provide reasonable assurance. They provide a whole lot more assurance than a review does because there's more testing and there's more involvement with the financial statements. And so, they provide a lot more assurance than a review provides that the financial statements are accurate and free from material misstatements. Now, an audit, neither a review or an audit, they cannot provide 100% assurance. It's almost kind of impossible. It means the auditor would have to go through each and every transaction and ask probably a million questions, and there's just simply not time for that. So a review provides limited assurance, and an audit provides reasonable assurance. Okay, so if you're a nonprofit, the question is, should you have a review performed, or should you have an audit performed on your nonprofit financials? And the answer is it depends. If you are a smaller organization and only a few people depend on your financial statements, you only have like a few donors, or you're trying to get some type of loan from the bank, then a review would suffice. A financial statement review would be okay. Now, if you are a large nonprofit organization, let's say, consistently you have at least $1 to $2 million of revenue each year. You have funders depending on your financial statements. You have large grants that you receive and they depend on your financial statements. Then you would want to get an audit. Okay, just go ahead and get an audit. All right, and you'll likely have to likely get an audit every year if you're receiving large amounts of funding every year. All right, so I'm going to just talk about a little bit. I'm going to talk about more differences between a financial statement review and an audit. So a review, when you're talking about a review, the auditor or the CPA, they're really just going to be asking you questions. All right, they're going to ask you a lot of questions, and they're going to go through more analytical procedures where they compare the current year financials to the prior year financials, or they compare your financials to other organizations similar to you in the same industry. They'll do that type of comparison, but they're not going to do any testing. So more so asking questions and doing analytical type procedures. An audit is a lot more extensive than a review. With an audit, there will be testing involved. They'll likely test your billing. They'll want to test your cash disbursements, your cash receipts. They'll probably do some testing on your internal controls, either testing or at least evaluating your internal controls and making sure they are followed. They'll look at your balance sheet and confirm from a third party, like a bank, that your balances are accurate. And they'll also, just like a review, they'll be asking questions and performing analytical procedures. Okay, so again, with an audit, it's a lot more involved. So their procedures are going to be a whole lot more involved than a review. Timeline. Okay, so when you're talking a review could take anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks to maybe 1 month, 1 to 2 months. It really depends on the size of your nonprofit. If you have a very small nonprofit, then it'll probably take 1 week. If your nonprofit is on the larger side, it might take 1 month. All right, and it also depends on the CPA itself too. Okay, when you're talking about an audit takes anywhere from 1 month, and it could possibly take up to 4 months. Again, it depends on the size, and it depends on the complexity. It depends on the auditor. It depends on how available you are for the auditor. It depends on several different factors, but an audit, it takes a lot longer. It takes significantly longer to perform an audit. Again, because an audit has a lot of testing that is performed. All right. Next difference is the assurance provided. And we talked about this a little bit already, but a review provides limited assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatements, and an audit provides reasonable assurance that the financials are free from material misstatements. Okay, so again, an audit, you have a whole lot more assurance that the financial statements are accurate because with an audit, the auditor performs a lot more tests. They perform more procedures and ask more questions than that of a review. The types of reports. So when you're talking about a review, you are going to simply get a report. The report is not going to have any type of opinion. It's just going to be, hey, we performed these procedures. Very high level, very basic. Okay. Now with an audit, when you're talking an audit, they are going to provide an audit opinion. All right. So if an auditor performs an audit and they find that, hey, the financials are fairly presented, they're going to provide an unqualified opinion. An unqualified means a clean opinion. Okay, so they can provide an unqualified opinion, qualified, adverse, or disclaimer. Those are the four opinions that they can report upon. When you're going into the qualified and adverse opinions, that means the auditor has found something. That means the financial statements are not fairly presented. And if you have a disclaimer, then the financial statements really just should not be depended upon. All right. So the goal is to get an unqualified, clean opinion. Okay. Price. So a financial statement review is significantly less than a financial statement audit. So a review is between $2,000 and $5,000. An audit is a lot more. On the cheap side, if you can find an audit for $10,000, you're doing good. But it's anywhere between $10,000, $20,000 and up. Again, it depends on the size of your organization, and it also depends on the auditors as well. If you have an auditor or an audit firm that's more well known, that's larger, you're going to be paying more money. All right. So, so those are some differences between a review and an audit. And for your nonprofit, you'll need to determine which one will be best for you. So I hope this video has been helpful. Let me know what you all think. If you're watching via YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a great day.